All right, we're looking at Algebra 7-7, and we're looking at factoring the quadratic here. It's a trinomial, it's 3 terms, but now we're looking at when a does not equal 1. So a, the first term, has a number besides 1. So we're going to actually do this a little different. Hold on, let me get another piece of paper. So what I'm going to do is I started looking, and I've heard of this slip and slide method, and I sat and was looking and processing it. I'm going to actually teach you guys, another method than this. So we're going to move, and we're going to write some different notes on a different paper. I'm not going to use the slip and slide method, but I am going to use these problems that they have. So we're going to ignore the slip and slide method for now. We are still going to use the X method here for a reason or a moment. But hold on, let me get this moved out of my way. So what we're going to do is go ahead and take notes on another sheet of paper. So pause it, go grab a piece of paper. Sorry about your packet. But the high school uses it that way, and I like to do it this way. So this is factoring when a does not equal 1. Okay, so we're going to look at this first problem. They have 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. The first thing I am going to look at, though, is if there is a GCF that I can factor out first. So the first thing is the GCF. Is there a 2, 5, and 3? No. There's no GCF, so I don't need to factor out a number to make it smaller or to make it easier to work with. I am still going to do the X method, to where you have your A, your B, and your C. So your A times C and your B down here. So A times C is a positive 6. B is your positive 5. Now, to get a positive 6, but then a positive 5, to get a positive 6 and a positive 5. Oh, that's going to be 2 and 3. I'm so stuck on 5 and 1, but it's 2 and 3. So it's 2 and 3. 2 to 3, 2 and 3, multiply to get 6, but add together to get 5. Here's where it changes. So when we're going to take this 2 and we're going to take this 3 and we're going to replace it, for this 5x. That means I need the x with it too. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring the 2x squared here. You're going to replace the 5x for 2x plus 3x. So what I did here is I'm replacing 2x plus 3x for the 5x. These are the exact same. Then I'm going to bring plus 3 down here. So I did the x method. Then I'm replacing these two terms for the middle term. Replacing the two factors for the middle term. I'm sorry, that's terrible. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I'm replacing. Now notice it's 2x and 3x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 2x with this, because now what I can do is now I can group the first two terms together and the last two terms together. So I'm going to group this first two terms together, and now look what I can do. So group terms. I can factor out now, factor GCF. If you want to write this in another page, that's fine. But I can factor now. So now I have a 2 and I have an x that I can factor out. So I'm going to factor out the 2 and factor out the x. I have an x left, plus 2x divided by 2x is just 1. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm factoring out the 2x on both of those. This one, the 3x plus 3, notice there's only a 3 that I can factor out of here. So I'm going to have x plus 1, because 3 divided by 3 is 1. Notice these two terms should be the same. If these two terms are the same, it's just like saying 2x times, times 4 plus 3 times 4. Well, they both have a multiplying by 4, so I can take that out. Same thing. Now I can group 2x plus 3 and x plus 1. Okay, so 2x plus 3 and x plus 1. That is your final. Now, you can definitely FOIL it or do the box method to see if it tests back into this. So we're going to do another one. I definitely know, you guys, this is where every year I need people to like come to class, practice, and we practice, practice, practice. Okay, so let's try that other one. Let's try 6y squared minus 5y minus 4. Okay, is there a GCF? Oh, I should have finished this. Anyway, okay, I'll finish this list when we go here. There's no GCF. 6, 5, that has to go in all three. Then I'm going to do the x method. -4 times 6 is a -24, -5. What two numbers multiply to get -24, but add together to get -5? Well, 8 and 3. Now, one of them has to be negative, so that's going to be -8. Because that's negative and that's negative, you're the one further from 0, that has to be a negative. Now, here's where we're going to replace. You're going to replace these two in for -5. Now, here's where I plan ahead. Look at 6. Well, if I'm going to factor out, I'm going to put the 3 with the 6 and the -8 with the 4. So I'm going to do 6y squared, that's a positive, plus 3y. Don't forget the y. We need the y there. Minus 8y minus 4. These two terms replace the -5y. These two terms replace the -5. When you combine them, you should get -5. So I didn't change the problem at all. I just kind of expanded it out. Now, group your first two group terms, first two terms, last two terms. Factor out the GCF of each of them. So this is going to be 3y, be 2y plus 1. Now watch this though. We want our ending result to be 2y plus 1. But notice there's a negative. So I'm going to actually factor out a -4. I'm going to divide a -4 by both of these. That means that's going to be a 2y. -4 divided by -4 is positive 1. After you factor out the GCF, then, how do I want to say this? These two, you're really factoring out this last one. And then you're grouping, oh God, how do I say that? You're grouping the 3y minus 4 and then the 2y plus 1, because you're really factoring that part out, because that's the same in both. I guess factor out the 1 in parentheses. Parentheses. I always mess that up. Terms. Oh God, that doesn't make sense. And then put them as then write as a binomial, or two binomials. Write as two binomials. Okay, again, practice, practice, practice. Oh good, we have time for another one. Let's do 15y squared minus 18y minus 24. Okay, look how large these numbers are. Oh, look at GCF. There's a GCF. 15, 18, and 24. What number is all 3? Okay, so you can factor out a 3. Then that's 5y squared minus 6y minus 8. Much more manageable. Now, we're not going to deal with this 3 here until the very end. So I'm going to do this so I don't forget it. But now I'm going to do my x. Now I can only work with, now I'm only going to focus on this for a while. Okay, -5 and a -8 is going to be a -40, -6. Okay, multiply to get 40, but are 6 apart. Well, that's 4 and 10. So 10 and 4. Now I need a negative, and I need this negative. So I'm going to make the 10 negative. Now then I'm going to look ahead. This is a 5, so I'm going to put the -10 with it. So I'm going to do 5y squared minus 10y plus 4y minus 8. Again, this middle term. Now, the reason I put 10 in here because I saw a 5. And 4 and 8, I know 4 goes into 8. If you did it opposite, it could still factor. It will still work. It's just a little bit longer. That's fine. Now, group 5. I can divide by 5y. So this is going to be y minus 2. It's going to be a y minus 2 because 10y divided by 5y is 2. Now I can pull out a 4. Now make sure you put plus 4. I didn't really mention that up there, but make sure you put plus 4 because you're pulling out a positive 4. And then y minus 2. You want these two to be the same. Okay, you want these two to be the same. Now, factor out the parentheses term, which means you're left with 5y plus 4, y minus 2. But we have this 3 here. So technically, I'm going to put this 3 right here in the front. That's what we call actually factoring completely, because you can't simplify either one of these anymore. Okay, it's going to be very, very important you know how to factor, because when we get to our quadratics, we're actually going to be solving for these variables. So this is a very, very important unit, you guys. Okay, so let's try our next example. If you want to try it, pause and you try it. We have 32w squared minus 16w plus 2. I see a GCF right away, so I'm going to go ahead and divide out that 2. 16w squared minus 8w plus 1. Don't forget you have plus 1. So you have 16 and a negative 8. Okay, so to get a 16 and a negative 8, think about 16 and negative, oh, well, duh, okay, 4 and 4. But they both have to be negative. Since that's positive and this is negative, they both have to be negative. Okay, now, negative 4, so you're going to have 16w squared. Don't forget the 2. I'm going to bring that down here. W squared minus 4w plus 1. Okay, now, we're going to group. 4w can be pulled out. 4w minus 1. Okay, now look at this. Negative 4w plus 1. There's nothing we can pull out, but we want it to be 4w minus 1, but we have a negative 4w plus 1. So we can actually, if we factor out a negative 1, if we divide by negative 1, it's going to be 4w minus 1. Notice this is a 4w minus 1, 4w minus 1. But you have a 2. Don't forget this 2 in the front. Okay? So you have that 2 in the front. So you really have 4w minus 1. It's like saying this. 2 times 4w minus 1 squared. Okay. All right, let's try that last one. 6x squared plus x minus 12. Okay, can't do a GCF. I hope this is getting better, you guys. I will do some assignment. I'm not going to do tons because look at all this work for just one problem. So you're not going to have tons, but when you do your Delta math, I want to see your work. You don't just give me the what your answer is. Okay, negative 12. Oh, wait, is that 72 or 12? Okay, 12. Negative 12 and 6. 3 and 4. 12 and 1. Oh my God, why am I blanking? 1, 12, 3, 4, 2 and 6. Oh, that's why. Hold on. Because I did it wrong. Negative 72 and 1. Negative 72 and 1. That's why. I was like, why am I blanking on this? Okay, well, 72 is 8 and 9. And that's a negative, but it's a positive. All right, that's why. Woo. Okay, so I'm getting hungry, I think. Okay, 6x squared, if you heard my stomach growl. Now, 6, I would bring the 9x minus 8x minus 12, and I'm trying to hurry. So, parentheses, 3x. So this is going to be a 2x plus 3. Now, notice it's a positive, so I'm going to pull out a negative 4. That's going to be a 2x plus 3. All right, so this should be 3x minus 4 and a 2x. 3x minus 4 and a 2x plus 3. Is that right? And we can always FOIL, so I might FOIL to check this. But I will FOIL that, okay? Okay, so hopefully that helps. Practice, practice, practice. I'm going to FOIL that here on my own and see if that works.